Previously on The Practice.
He began to have a problem in high school in his senior year.
A drinking problem?
Yes. Then in college, he got into the frat scene. He died of alcohol poisoning.
And you're blaming Portis Brewery?
I'm certainly aware that there were other beers, but for the most part, it was Portis.
Do you take any responsibility, Mr. Barry? Your son was underage, drinking illegally.
No matter what parents say, it is hard to compete with the images of fun and social acceptance that is being marketed by the alcohol industry.
We make it our business to curtail underage drinkers.
Really? Besides those sex and alcohol commercials, what else?
Objection!
This kid couldn't so much as watch a baseball game without hearing your jingle, Mr. Carroll, and he's dead. He's dead.
Your Honor, could I have a 2-minute recess? We have an offer we'd like to propose to the plaintiff.
1.6 million. Should we take it? Let's take our chances.
What?
The offer is rejected, Your Honor.
Mr. Foreman, what say you?
We, the jury, find in favor of the plaintiff and order the defendant to pay punitive damages in the amount of $125 million.
We appeal.
One of my inmates is Denise Freeman. She shot 2 young boys playing in the park. She's scheduled to be executed next week.
How can I help?
I'd like you to stop it.
Are you against the death penalty?
No, not at all. In fact, I think we should employ it more often. But we shouldn't be killing Denise Freeman. She's not the same person who committed those crimes.
I heard voices. I thought they were a mandate from God. You know, there's somebody like me on Dateline once a week.
And the actual diagnosis?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Do you have a memory of the killings?
They haven't found the medication yet to erase memory.
You want to take her off the meds?
And stop the execution on the grounds that she's insane. The Supreme Court has expressly held 8th Amendment prohibits executing the insane.
Go off my medication?
It's our last best shot.
I will go crazy, Eleanor. You do realize that. It's just that they would laugh, you know. Not really laugh, ha ha ha, because then they would get into trouble. They would get sent to the principal's office, and they all knew better.
Denise, who talked?
The kids. All the kids. Kids.
The kids you shot? Denise, the kids you shot?
Every time I entered a room, except they would disguise it because they knew that they would get into trouble, they'd cough. That was their plan. Sometimes they would sneeze, but usually they would cough. And that was to laugh at me.
Denise, which kids?
All the kids at school, the kids at school, they'd always cough.
The boys in the park, did they cough?
I'm not supposed to talk about that. That's a secret.
A secret between...
Me and him.
Who's him?
He doesn't cough.
You don't know who him is, but you and he entered into a secret.
He talks to me from the inside.
The inside of...
Me!
We have no way of knowing this isn't an act. She certainly has motive.
She was examined by 6 different doctors, including 2 from the state. They all came to the same conclusion.
If she's legally insane, and I make no such concession, her state of mind is self-inflicted here. How does
That's not an issue before this court. This is a hearing to determine her mental state only. The consequence of that determination is up to another court.
This, to me, is a perversity of our legal system.
It may very well be, Mr. Parker. But this hearing, like Ms. Frutt says, is only about the petitioner's current mental health. Ms. Freeman, I have wonderful news. The court hereby finds you insane. You must be pleased.
So, what now?
The next step is we go to the federal district court to stop the execution on the grounds that you're insane.
And that's a matter of course, right? I mean, it's perfunctory. The Supreme Court has already ruled on this, right?
Nothing is perfunctory. And as the Attorney General said before, the fact that your insanity is somewhat self-inflicted.
When can I get back on my medication?
Well, the state will try to force you back on. And under the current law, they might be able to do that. For our purposes...
It's too loud. This is too loud. Hey!
Denise, remember, that's your illness. When people cough, they're not really laughing at you. That's your illness.
Then why is she looking back at me like she's sorry? You're sorry, aren't you?
Yes.
See?
No, I'm not.
To answer your question, for our purposes, first, let's stop the execution. Then, we'll try to get you back on your medication.
You need to hurry, Ellen. It's getting too loud.
$2.5.
And you're advising us to take it?
I'm advising you to consider it.
The verdict was $125 million.
They have a motion for remitter scheduled for Wednesday. The judge will likely knock it down anyway.
To 2.5?
I don't know. He could even throw it out altogether. It could happen.
I don't believe this. We won.
Joshua, after more than 300 lawsuits and many adverse verdicts, the tobacco companies have yet to pay out a cent in individual smoker cases. It'll be the same here. If we're to get anything, it could be years. 2.5 in the hand is so much...
No. Now I am angry. I stuck it out through a trial, I got a verdict, and now you are advising me to settle because the defendant won't honor that verdict. It's outrageous.
I don't disagree, but...
I don't need the money. I live a comfortable life. If I have to wait another 10 years, I'll do it.
Joshua.
I said no. If they had offered me something at the beginning, before the trial, but they offered nothing. And now, after they lose, of all the arrogance, we beat them. I will not settle for this. No, I will not.
I direct the court's attention to Ford versus Wainwright, where the Supreme Court held that the Eighth Amendment prohibits the state from executing an insane inmate. Denise Freeman has been adjudicated to be insane and therefore...
First of all, Your Honor, that ruling is suspect.
Suspect with whom?
How about the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court who scoffed at the ruling?
It's nevertheless the majority opinion.
The court also held the defendant waived his right if he voluntarily went off medication.
That was for competency. They never talked about waiver when it comes to punishment. Look, Wainwright makes clear, to kill an insane person has little retributive value. It presents no example to others, it is not a deterrent, and it offends humanity.
And I would ask the court, as Justice Rehnquist does, where does it all stop? There has to be some finality to the law. Ms. Freeman was judged sane at her trial. She was found guilty. She basically had another trial on the issue of punishment. Now here she comes again, saying she's insane, can't kill her. Suppose she loses this one. What's to stop her from coming back tomorrow saying, now I'm really insane, or the day after? We could be conducting insanity trials in perpetuity. Every death row inmate would be jumping up and down screaming, look at me, I'm nuts. And here, for a sane inmate to deliberately go off her medication for the express purpose of making herself crazy so she can escape execution, that's a mockery.
It may be a mockery, Mr. Parker, but as I interpret the Supreme Court, with all due respect to Justice Rehnquist, we cannot execute the insane. I therefore stay the execution.
I petition a court to allow the state to medicate Ms. Freeman. The New Hampshire Supreme Court has previously held that a mentally ill defendant can be medicated against his or her will if...
Once again, that was for trial. It was not for punishment. Certainly not the death penalty.
The same rationale would support forced medication for punishment purposes.
Your Honor, this is a separate issue, a very complicated one. I would request additional time to prepare.
She's stalling.
I am not stalling. It's called due process.
All right. We'll reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m. on the issue of forced medication. Until then, we're adjourned.
Now for the tough part. They want to force medicate you to make you sane so they can then carry out the execution. As I said before, under the current law, they may be able to do this. It's unclear.
You need to stop it. I can't. I can't. It's getting worse.
Explain to me what's happening.
I know. I wrote myself a letter before I went off the medication. I told myself that what's happening is not really happening. So I know. It's just, I'm not feeling very well. I need...
We can't put you back on the medication now, because it would mean sanity and death. So, I need you to hang in there just a little longer.
What do you mean he won't take it?
He said no. If it means waiting 10 years to see a nickel, then so be it. The guy's dug in.
He was adamant.
Get him in here.
Why? What do you want to...
I want to talk to the client.
Bobby, we can't force him to accept an offer if he
It's not
doesn't...
about forcing. It's about making him understand.
We did that. He understood.
Please have him come in for one more meeting.
The idea of treating somebody, healing her, making her well, so that you can then kill her, that itself is insane.
The court has done this many times.
It's one thing to force medicate so a defendant can help herself at trial. It's quite another to facilitate killing her.
Hold on. Mr. Parker, I don't mean to be picking on you, but I agree with Ms. Frutt here. The idea of medicating a person against his or her will is in and of itself suspect. To do so to make her fit for execution offends common sense, as it does common decency.
How decent is it to let these people manipulate the system, distort the spirit of the law?
Your motion is denied.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, we would like a declaratory judgment that should my client go back on medication, making herself sane, she will not be executed.
Say that again?
To force my client to live out her life mentally ill, to be denied medication, that certainly constitutes cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment.
Counsel, what are you trying to pull? Your client is choosing to be off the medication.
I would argue that she really doesn't have such a choice, Your Honor, if the consequence of being medicated is death.
You gotta be kidding.
You can't say to a sick inmate, "We're willing to treat you, but if you get well, you die." If that's her option, she's basically being denied treatment. It's cruel and unusual.
That is so ingenious. I'm surprised no lawyer has thought of it before. But I'm not going to let you have it both ways. As long as she's insane, she lives. If she becomes sane again, she dies. The choice is hers. Or, since you're the guardian ad litem, I guess it's yours. We're adjourned.
The news is good and bad. The judge ruled that they can't force medicate you.
What about my pills? When can I take my pills?
That's the bad news. If you go back on the medication, they'll execute you.
Well, I can't stay like this. It's too loud.
Denise, I'd like to work on an appeal.
It's too loud. You said that you would make it stop.
I will.
Eleanor, it needs to be now.
I can't.
No! No! Then let me die. I'm choosing to be executed.
It's actually not your choice. You have no capacity.
Yet you said that you would make it stop. It's loud.
We can at least get her to a hospital now, right? I mean, she's...
Shut up! You shut up! You shut up!
This bitch is against me.
Mr. and Mrs. Barry, Bobby Donald, thanks for coming in.
I'm not sure what the purpose is. Eugene tells me you want us to settle, but I've made our feelings quite clear.
You're not going to get any money, Mr. Barry. Not by pursuing this. The alcohol industry...
Can't afford to set a precedent of losing, yes. Eugene has already told me that. But as I told him, I don't care if I never see any money.
Yes, but we do.
I'm sorry?
We took this case on a contingency, Mr. Barry. There's an implied contract of good faith. Good faith requires you to accept a reasonable settlement. Failure to do so may give us a cause of action against you. Bobby. $825,000 of 2.5 belongs to us, Mr. Barry. And I'm not going to let you give that away because you're too emotional. Bobby. Excuse me, Eugene. Lawsuits are about money. You hired us to get you money. We prosecuted this claim for free on a contingency. We took a chance on a back end, and now we want our payoff.
What are you talking about?
The choice to settle or not to settle legally belongs to you. But if you choose not to and you end up getting nothing, if we end up getting nothing, this firm will file a claim against you for $825,000. And please keep in mind, Mr. Barry, when you are the defendant, lawyers won't represent you on a contingency. Turning this settlement down will cost you. You need to be aware of that. Thank you for your time. You could lose your bar card over that one. I don't think so. Eugene, we need cash. Threatening a lawsuit against a client to get cash? The client needed a dose of reality. Well, why didn't you tell me or Jimmy that's what you were planning? Because I was taking you off the hook. The fact that you didn't know what the meeting was about makes me the only bad guy. Well, your threat to sue is completely frivolous. I told the client as much, and he maintains his refusal to settle. We go in tomorrow on the defendant's motion to knock the verdict down. Bobby, you and I have been estranged lately. A lot of it's been over the Catholic Church. But at least we've managed to be honest with one another. So I'm going to be honest now. What you just did, it wasn't in keeping with being an ethical person. It wasn't in keeping with being an honorable lawyer. And from what I know of your faith, it wasn't in keeping with being a good Catholic. You humiliated this firm with that little performance. And more than that, you embarrassed yourself.
She started banging her head against the bars and looked like she was trying to gouge her eyes.
Is she sedated?
Not yet. She's in restraints. She wanted to talk to you first.
Denise?
I want the drugs. I can't live like this, Eleanor.
Try to calm...
Don't tell me that! I can't live like this!
Denise, if you go back on the
I know! I know!
I need you to listen to me. If you go back on the drugs, they will put you to death.
I can't listen. It's too loud. I want the medicine. They said that it's your decision. Tell them to give it to me.
I would be signing your death warrant.
No!
Give her the drugs.
Eleanor, are you sure?
Of course I'm not. Sure, give her the drugs. Now! just helped kill my client.
Hey.
Hey. Great news from the hospital. Denise is feeling well enough to be executed. You come up with anything?
Well, only thing left is to argue it's unconstitutional to kill her on Eighth Amendment grounds.
That's sort of been tried, Jamie.
Well, instead of arguing the death penalty is per se unconstitutional, you could argue it's cruel and unusual as applied to Denise Freeman. It's our only shot, Eleanor.
Hey.
Hey. The clients had a change of heart. They agreed to settle. We chipped the number up to 3.2. We're closed.
Really? What changed their minds?
I guess you did. Congratulations.
It's a good settlement, Jimmy.
For you, maybe.
For the client.
Well, that would be a lucky coincidence then, wouldn't it? Don't pretend you had the client's interest in mind, Bobby.
Maybe I had yours. And Rebecca's. And Eleanor's. You think it's easy running this place, Jimmy? You like taking home a salary? You want to see the books?
I don't doubt in your heart you were serving the firm. But I guess I just wish when serving us, you'd consider what, at heart, this firm is. Anyway, congratulations again on the settlement.
I'm sorry. You now want to challenge the constitutionality of the death penalty?
As it applies to my client, yes.
And the show goes on.
I object to that. This is not a show. My client is scheduled to be injected with lethal poison the day after tomorrow.
Your client murdered 2 young boys and has since been on a mission to manipulate the system.
She is entitled to be heard, Mr. Parker!
All right. Ms. Frutt, I must admit I share Mr. Parker's exasperation.
Your Honor, you represent Denise Freeman's last chance at life. It is certainly within your discretion to let her die. But it would be an abuse of that discretion to do so without at least hearing from her attorney.
I've done nothing but hear from you.
Damn it! Say no if you want, but I would like to be heard, however much it exasperates the court's patience.
Speak to me like that again. You'll get a jail cell of your very own. All right. Let's go back in. I'll hear you.
I need time to prepare.
9 o'clock tomorrow. Last call, counsel.
I need you to pull up Furman, check the concurring opinions, see if there's any language we can make use of. Then pull up Greg, look for any dissenting opinions.
Are you holding up?
I'm fine. I'm gonna go see Denise, you get the cases, I'll meet you back at the hotel.
Okay.
Is the ACLU coming in with you?
Well, no.
So you're going to try to overturn the death penalty all by yourself?
You could go back off the medication, though I'm not even sure.
I won't do that again. I either live on the meds or I die. So, Eleanor, exactly how good are you?
I'm not this good. Obviously, Denise, this is the ultimate Hail Mary. I will do my very best, but
we're at the end.
I'm afraid so.
I don't know how to begin thanking you for it.
We don't have to get into that. I've arranged for you to be present in court. So,
One last outing. Should I try to escape?
I should probably get to work on whatever it is I'm gonna say. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Okay.
All rise. Be seated.
Okay, Ms. Frutt, I'm listening.
Whether one agrees or disagrees with the death penalty,
One does.
it is reserved as punishment for the worst of criminals, the most terrible. Denise Freeman doesn't fall into that category. Of course, her acts of murder were heinous, against God and especially against two innocent young children. But Denise Freeman was mentally ill. Though judged legally sane by a jury, she clearly wasn't. She was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia shortly after the trial. Medication not only successfully treated this disease, but she developed into a role model offering such profound public service to others that Stephen Marshall, the warden at the Goffstown Correctional Facility, has petitioned you to save her life. Had Miss Freeman received an adequate defense, she likely...
Counsel, this is neither a retrial of the facts nor your client's defense.
I understand that, Your Honor. But you are permitted to consider that the finding of sanity was made by 12 lay people, with almost no psychiatric testimony introduced on my client's behalf. You are allowed to consider that Denise Freeman was poor, that her murder trial lasted a total of 3 days, her defense taking up 1 day. You are allowed to consider that the overwhelming medical evidence found her to be insane. And as such, I would submit you are certainly allowed to conclude that Denise Freeman does not fall into the most terrible of criminals, the ones for which we reserve the penalty of death. And I would also remind the court that as horrible as these murders were, they did not involve rape or torture. There was no evidence of any physical suffering. The deaths were instantaneous. She did not act out of hatred or evil. If you are to execute a mentally ill person who kills painlessly, without judgment, without premeditation, then we are to say all murderers should be executed. And we don't say that, Your Honor. Instead, we reserve the penalty of death for the most evil, the most dastardly. Denise Freeman simply does not fall into that category, and her punishment should accordingly be reduced to life imprisonment.
We judge the criminal act, not the criminal actor. When a young child is murdered, that's the most terrible of crimes. When two are murdered, This murderer was judged sane, Your Honor. Miss Frutt knows this. She's here mostly because she's against the death penalty.
Objection?
I say this only to put her eloquent pleas in a proper context. The commitment that she feigns towards Denise Freeman's life is inextricably bound up with her opposition to the death penalty.
Mr. Parker, I'll ask you to confine your remarks to this case only.
All right, Your Honor. Miss Frutt said that these crimes didn't involve much suffering. Here sit Arnold and Cindy Graham, the boy's parents. This woman was at the park that day. She saw the heads of her only 2 children explode. They've had to go through trials and tribulations for 8 long years, waiting for this day, for closure, only to have to come to this room to listen to a defense attorney claim that the murders weren't terrible enough. Not enough suffering, no evil at work. They've had to witness a last-minute gross distortion of our legal system where the killer goes off medication for the purpose of becoming too insane to execute. I asked before, I'll ask you again. Where does it stop?
Well, when I grow up, I want to be vice president. Vice presidents get to have girlfriends, and people don't make a big deal.
You're gonna have a girlfriend?
Lots of them. I got that thing. Girls like it.
What thing?
That thing I got. Timothy Graham for VP. The candidate with thang.
Tim Graham won't get to run for vice president. In the last 8 years, Denise Freeman got to laugh. Timothy and Ryan Graham didn't. Denise Freeman experienced joy on occasion. Timothy and Ryan didn't. Denise Freeman got to live. Timothy and Ryan didn't. Society can only express its feelings for crime by the punishment it metes out. To let her live now is to ignore and prolong the misery of these parents, and to say that the life of Denise Freeman matters more than those 2 innocent children.
Ms. Frutt, I'll give you the final word.
I have a 2-year-old daughter. If somebody were to shoot her dead on a jungle gym, I would not only want that person killed, I would like the satisfaction of doing it myself. I would even want that killer to suffer. It's human nature. But it isn't right. One of the reasons I'm here today is because my daughter is still alive. And I worry about the world we pass on to her. I plan to teach my little girl that it is never okay to commit murder, though the state says otherwise. I plan to teach my daughter that we do not respond to violence with more violence or vengeance, though the state says otherwise. I plan to teach her that life, every life, is sacred, though the state says otherwise. In truth, the murder being advocated by the government today is far more premeditated than the ones committed by Denise Freeman. The murder being advocated by the government today is with clarity of mind, with reason, and with much more hatred in the heart than was true of Denise Freeman. The murder being advocated by the government today is one of ceremony. Killing Denise Freeman might bring closure for the victim's family. It will no doubt bring cheers from much of the community. But it isn't right. When I was a kid, I memorized Clarence Darrow's closing argument on Leopold and Loeb. It's what made me want to become a lawyer. I often wondered if I'd ever have a case like that, where I would stand before a judge and ask him to spare another human being's life. I can't improve on Clarence Darrow, so I will finish with what he said. I am pleading for the future. I am pleading for a time when hatred and cruelty will not control the hearts of men. When we can learn by reason and judgment and understanding and faith that all life is worth saving, and that mercy is the highest attribute of man.
Eleanor, honestly, if I killed your daughter, do you think you could find it in your heart to argue for my life?
Absolutely not.
So, all that talk about kindness overcoming cruelty?
I believe in it. Totally. Except if anyone harmed my daughter.
You didn't quote my favorite part.
I'm sorry?
Darrow's closing. He talked about how we used to hang and behead and torture and cut into pieces. All these inconceivable punishments. But then we began to evolve as a nation to a point where now we look back on those things with horror. He said the future was on his side, because one day we too would look back at capital punishment with embarrassment and shame. The future is with me, he said.
We need the future to be today.
Judge is coming in.
Be seated.
Stand up, Ms. Freeman. Ms. Frutt, as much as you'd like me to overturn the death penalty, I'm not going to do that. Anybody who murders two innocent children, I have a difficult time having that person's attorney preach to me on morality. But I have to acknowledge the evidence is overwhelming. If not insane, Ms. Freeman was at least mentally infirm at the time she committed those heinous acts. I therefore find that the death penalty is not appropriate here, and the execution is hereby stayed. That's all.
I live. You live.
Next on the practice.
I saw the gun and then I just hit the accelerator.
Did you call the police?
No.
What?
The man your client ran over in her garage, he had a bullet in his back.
Do you have feelings for this woman?
I might love her.
You have to think of her as a client.
I can't do that, Bobby.
You stink.
I didn't know who else to call. I think I'm in trouble.
Okay, settle down.
I didn't know who else to call. I had wine and it was raining.
What
and
happened?
I just hit the accelerator
All
and then...
right, Brenda. Sit down. Slow down. And just tell me what happened. And start from the beginning.
I was driving home from work. It was raining, and I usually park in my driveway, you know, but since it was raining, I...
Slow.
Damn it.
You hit him?
Yes, it was a reflex. I saw the gun and then I just hit the accelerator.
Where is he now?
In the garage. He's dead.
Did you call the police?
No.
What?
I just called you. I first thought get him to a hospital, so I was trying to get him into the car. But I could see that he was already dead. What am I going to do?
Why haven't you called the police?
I had some wine before I left work. Not a lot, but
Are you sure he's dead?
pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Where's the gun?
The garage. I guess.
This is way too much guessing, Brenda.
Jimmy? Is he dead?
He's dead.
How do you get in the car?
Her first instinct was to get him to a hospital. Then she realized he was dead and called the police.
After she called you.
Sorry.
Well, you were here before the police, so I'm assuming she called you first.
Yeah, she panicked and called me. They'll be taking the body out in a few minutes. Then they'll come in to look around. Brenda, you okay?
Is there any chance you could stay here tonight? I am so freaked.
I need this to be in complete confidence, okay? Not that you, God.
Take it easy.
Okay, how do I even start? Margie and I have been having some problems at home.
Since when?
Some of it is, sexual. Well, more specifically, I've been having a few performance issues. I don't know if it's related to work or stress or... Anyway, I read this ridiculous article. I put no stock in it, but I read that men, not transvestites, but regular heterosexual men, can sometimes find stimulation in wearing women's clothes. My secretary, Paula, she works out after work and changes at the office, leaving her clothes. Well, last night I worked late. Paula left her bra folded underneath her jeans, and I put it on.
You what?
I don't know what came over me. I just wanted to see if it all... And then I put my shirt back on over it since, you know, I didn't want to be seen. God forbid someone on the crew. And I got back into my work, which, you know how enmeshed I get in it. I forgot about it.
You forgot about it?
I went home, I took off my shirt in the bedroom, and Margie sees me wearing a bra. She flipped. She thinks I'm having some kinky thing with Paula. She calls Paula, tells her I'm wearing her bra. Now my wife wants to leave me. Paula's suing me for sexual harassment.
So basically, she waited until her blood alcohol dropped.
I think so.
Jimmy, is there any chance this man could have died while she was waiting for him?
No. I know this woman, Bobby. She would never.
What do we know about the dead guy?
Name's Gerald Hanks. Has a record. Drug history.
And what's your relationship with her?
Sorry?
Brenda Miller. What's your relationship with her?
Old friend. I was buddies with her big brother. I was kind of like a surrogate big brother.
Jimmy.
What's the matter?
How soon before the police did you get there last night?
I don't know. Not too much sooner. Why?
You wouldn't be a witness of any kind, would you?
I'm not a witness to anything except what I told you. What's going on?
The man your client ran over in her garage, he had a bullet in his back.
What? Maybe his gun went off when she hit him.
The bullet didn't match the gun we found in the garage, and Jimmy, the gun is registered to your client.
Why me?
Because I suspect they're going to exploit this as gender discrimination. I want a woman lawyer second chance to prohibit...
If I'm not gonna do anything,
Your presence will be doing something. That's why I want you there.
am I allowed to talk?
If you have something to contribute, of course.
Could I ask why you're leaving? I mean, what young litigator wouldn't want to be at Goodwin?
Well, it wasn't exactly a great match for me, so.
Why?
Well, I was sort of encouraged to leave.
You were fired?
I don't like the word fired, as accurate as it may be. They were very pleased with my work. You could check my references. It wasn't my work.
What was it, then?
I knew it would get to this. I became ill on a partner.
Ah.
In a deposition, I have a vasovagal problem triggered by anxiety. It manifests on extremely rare occasion, but it did so in projectile form on a senior partner. Once.
And you were discharged.
They didn't believe I had the stomach to be a litigator, since it happened a few times before, but they were wrong. It was all about breathing, which I have learned to do.
Well, your transcript is great. But I am looking for someone with a little bit more experience, and, but I'll let you know. Okay?
Sure.
He was shot.
Yes.
By whom?
Well, we don't know. Did you notice him bleeding at all, or?
It happened so fast. After I hit him, I noticed he was bleeding, but I just thought that...
Brenda, the gun they found in the garage, it was registered to you.
This is where I keep it. He must have found it.
So somebody shot this man, he entered your house, retrieved your gun, and you ran him over. Brenda, everything you've told me so far, it's the truth.
Of course it's the truth. Jimmy, what's going on?
I don't know, but this isn't making sense. The police want to talk to you. I'm inclined to let you talk if everything you said is the truth. If it isn't, that's something different. What? Brenda, come clean with me. Tell me what really happened.
I hit him in the street somewhere near my work. It was pouring rain and I could barely see. And suddenly he was just in front of my car. I could barely hit my brake. I didn't have my cell phone. There was nothing around. I was in the middle of nowhere. And I tried to get him in my car, figuring I could get him to a hospital. But then I could see that he was already dead and I'd been drinking. And I panicked.
So you brought him home?
I figured I could. I don't know. Jimmy, I was half drunk and scared and things did not make sense. So I came into my room and I got my gun and I put it in the garage. So I'd be able to say that there was a man with a gun. It was the only thing I could think of. And then I called you. He must have been shot. Maybe he was running from somebody when he ran in front of my car. I don't know. I don't know. What time is it?
Seven o'clock. I better get ready for work.
Okay.
Basically, it's the same scenario as before, except she hit him in the street instead of her garage. My question is, do I let her say this to the police?
You do if you're nuts.
Sometimes the cover-up can be worse than the crime.
She's already committed the cover-up, Jimmy. If this new version gets out, she'll be charged with vehicular manslaughter, no question.
Well, I disagree. I think there is a question. If this guy was shot and chased in front of her car, then it is not vehicular manslaughter.
The prospect of the police believing that...
Look, forensics is going to figure out what happened anyway.
But there's no reason to help them. Come on. If this woman hit and killed a man and then drove him back to her garage, she's going to be prosecuted, especially if she was drinking.
I agree. There's no way you let her talk to the police.
It's an extremely regrettable event. And I assure you, we fully appreciate the sensitivity of the situation.
Yes. Was it in the spirit of this sensitivity that you sued him?
Well, it's in that spirit that we've refrained from filing the claim in the hopes that we can work this out amicably. Paula is, of course, devastated that her employer would endeavor to wear her undergarments. Obviously, a trust has been shattered.
I suspect, Mr. Wright, you have a number.
We do.
Might you tell me the number?
$500,000?
It's very difficult, of course, to quantify emotional pain.
But you've managed.
Injuries like products find their market value. For this particular infraction,
$500,000.
a jury could easily award more with unwanted exposure, by the way. I'm sure your attorney would agree our number does not shock the conscience.
Do you have a conscience, Paula?
Henry.
My client is always open to morality sermons if he wants to give one.
We were to agree to this number. We assume it would embrace a complete confidentiality agreement.
Absolutely. As I've said from the onset, we fully understand the sensitivity of the situation.
Yes. You're sweet.
We'll give you to the end of business tomorrow.
You said you'd call.
I did?
Well, you said you'd let me know. And since no news is so often good news, I guess I was hoping it would apply here.
Oh. It wouldn't.
I didn't get the job.
No.
Would you mind telling me who did?
I haven't hired yet.
Oh, well, so it could be anybody. Just not me. Well, thank you for considering me. Bye.
Bye.
So she's not gonna talk to us.
Well, I decided to be the overprotective attorney. Come on, Helen. What lawyer lets his client talk, innocent or not?
And yours is innocent.
Yes.
Could you tell us why she had a gun?
Personal protection. She lives alone, wants to be safe.
See, there's a couple of things that confuse us, Jimmy. Like if he'd been shot, he'd be bleeding. He was supposedly inside her house, yet we found no blood in her house. Or in the garage, for that matter. Did she clean it up?
Don't know.
Jimmy, it seems the body was dragged in the direction from the car to the wall, back to the car. Now, what would explain that?
Don't know.
Okay. Have your client here within an hour or we pick her up.
Why?
We want to trace Meddler, see if she's fired a gun recently.
Bullet didn't match her gun.
Well, maybe she has another one. Maybe she's a really big believer in personal protection.
Look, my client is innocent. Why is this attracting the attention of 2 DAs?
Because you have our curiosity piqued.
Jimmy, within an hour.
But I didn't shoot any gun.
Then a trace metal is good. It'll pretty much show that. You really didn't.
Jimmy, I'm telling you the truth.
Great. Then we let them do the test. It's not a problem.
Okay. Jimmy. This morning you were kind of caressing my face. What was?
I was just comforting you, 'cause, you know.
How come you never... Never mind.
Never mind what?
I always got the feeling that you kind of liked me. How come you never asked me out?
Were you interested in going out with me?
I don't know.
There you go. That's why I never asked.
I was interested for a while, but then I got a little nervous.
Nervous? About what?
Maybe you were in love with me?
Brenda, I was 16, 17. I didn't even know what love was.
Were you?
Yes.
And you still have feelings?
Not that, no.
Then why this morning? Why?
I was just comforting you. I said this already.
Okay.
We should get to the police station.
Okay. Okay. Done. Negative.
Satisfied?
Jimmy, it's hardly conclusive. Just let me talk to her.
She'd love to talk, but I can't let her, Helen. No upside, and you know it.
We could positively rule her out.
You can rule her out now. We're done.
So is it really over?
Let's hope so. They've got no real evidence that it didn't happen like you said it did.
Even though what I told them wasn't exactly the truth.
My legal advice on that, Brenda, don't tell anybody. Not your family, your shrink, your clergy, your boyfriend. You got a boyfriend?
No. Thank you.
No problem.
So you want to come in?
I'm not that liquid, believe it or not. I can sell some property if... Tell me what to do.
I think you should let me fight this, Henry.
But if this should get out, my dignity...
What happens to your dignity if you roll over? Look, go home. Talk to Margie. Let me deal with this lawsuit.
My life is over, isn't it?
Go be with your wife, Henry.
You're gonna fight this? Eugene, the guy's a vice president of a brokerage firm.
Meaning?
Meaning, if this gets out, win or lose, he loses.
Jamie, sometimes principle has to matter.
Principle. May I volunteer something on principle?
Go right ahead.
On principle, I object to being put on a case as window dressing. It's demeaning.
Is that right?
Yes. I'm second chairing as a token woman, and I find it offensive.
Well, maybe I put you on this case to learn, to get experience.
What am I supposed to be learning?
The meeting's at 9 a.m. Be on time.
Is this as far as you'll come in?
Brenda, I gotta admit, this is very strange for me.
Why?
Look, the thing is, being your lawyer, I got ethical rules to follow, and...
Was that so hard?
Yes, I'm looking for a Brenda Miller. Ah, I see, I found her.
Who are you?
I'll get to that. But first, who's he?
I'm her lawyer.
Well, I bet she could definitely use one of those. Right, Brenda? Nasty weather it was the other night driving, wasn't it?
Who are you?
My name is Herrick Smoltz. Don't let the shabby appearance deceive you underneath I'm a piece of crap. Of course, I'd never run somebody over. I was walking on Temple. I saw you hit that guy, and then drag him into the car and drive away. I followed you. So for $100,000, I won't tell the police what I saw.
That's extortion.
Yeah, well, I'll take my chances. $100,000. I'll tell you what. I'll come back, I'll make contact with you tomorrow. You can say nay or yay. Okay?
You okay?
I guess.
You just let me do all the talking, okay?
They're here.
Show them in.
Hello. I apologize for being slightly late. I pride myself in being punctual.
That's all right. Would you like some coffee or water?
It's very kind of you, but I think we're fine. What's this?
That's the counterclaim we're prepared to file in answer to your complaint. It alleges intentional infliction of emotional distress. It names you personally, Mr. Wright, as well as Paula. There's also a count for abuse of process.
These claims aren't tenable.
Oh, but they are, Mr. Wright. You attempted to extort this man. You not only recognize the damage your lawsuit would do to his career, you played it like a trump card. This woman didn't go to a counselor or a therapist. She didn't seek treatment for emotional upset. She went to the yellow pages.
Don't take me lightly, Mr. Young, simply because I advertise.
I take you as seriously as I do personally. You're a dishonorable lawyer. You reflect poorly on all attorneys, poorly on me. I don't like that. You're also incompetent. You counseled your client to commit an offense more actionable than the one committed against her.
You can't possibly be willing to take this to court to take this public.
The first thing I'll do is bring a motion to recuse you, which will be successful since you're now a named party. Imagine, win or lose, this case will end up costing you money, Mr. Wright. Money. Can I say it one more time? Money.
You don't scare me.
Here's your out. $10,000 and she gets to keep her job working for a different executive. All conditioned on confidentiality. This is a windfall for both of you. The offer is good till the end of business today. Now get out before I bait a hook with you.
I'm not stalking you, I promise. I realize I'm not getting the job. But could I just work here for 3 weeks, no salary? After which I promise to leave. I will not ask you to reconsider. I just need a place to call home for 3 weeks. Then off I go. You're befuddled, totally appropriate. Here's the thing. I have one client, one case my firm let me keep since they considered it a dog. I'm suing a town for sponsoring soccer. You don't need to tell me how ridiculous it is, I've been told. Just assume, for the sake of argument, that the neurological data backs me up. Heading a soccer ball does damage to young brains. I'm in court next week on summary judgment. My goal is to survive that, then try to settle. And this is where I need you. You beat a tobacco company. You even helped an airline win their Arab-free fly rule. You have kind of a rep as a giant slayer, and my feeling is, if I'm prosecuting this claim with you, then that'll at least give the defendant some pause, which, trust me, right now they are not getting. 3 weeks, no salary, I'm gone.
Can I help you? Here to see Jimmy.
Brenda, in here.
I've decided I just can't take the risk. Here's a money order for $100,000. Let's make the deal.
Hold on.
I have no real choice. He saw.
Brenda, wait a second. This right here is a crime.
Not as bad as vehicular homicide.
Everything that happened in a state of panic or shock. A man ran in front of your car. You put him in your car to take him to the hospital. Then, when you realized he was dead, you panicked and drove him home. This here, extortion, buying silence from a witness, it's reflective with more criminal intent.
What if he tells?
My feeling is he won't. I checked probation. The guy's got 2 B&E convictions, a drug history, and some weapons charges. It's likely he's the shooter. He was probably chasing the victim when he ran in front of your car. I don't think he's going forward.
But we can't guarantee that. Look, I don't need the money. I just can't take a chance. Please make the deal.
Jimmy, you can't do that. It's illegal.
She's insisting.
It doesn't matter. You can't ethically execute that kind of transaction. You could be disbarred. If she wants to do it on her own, I suppose you can't stop her.
There's no way I'm letting her deal with the guy alone. He's probably the shooter.
Jimmy, you can't be involved in buying off a witness's silence.
She's buying it off. I'm just there to make sure she doesn't get hurt.
What's your relationship with her?
I told you, we're friends.
What kind of friends?
Just friends. That's it.
Well, you can't do this. It's illegal. If it backfires, she could go to jail and you could too. Forget about it. Jimmy. What's going on? Do you have feelings for this woman?
I might love her.
Love her? You haven't seen her in 20 years.
It evidently didn't go away.
Look, you have to think of her as a client. And only a client.
I can't do that, Bobby. Men like me don't ever get women like her. Not in high school, not now.
Does she have feelings for you too?
I don't know. She might. I know I'm not thinking straight. But she seems more important than my career right now. More important than anything.
Okay, the fact that you're saying that makes it easier to realize you're not thinking straight. So I want you to trust me now and rely on my judgment, okay? You cannot pay off this witness.
Okay.
You didn't say you'd be taking over the entire office.
The files just got delivered here. I'll have most of them in storage by the end of the day.
Claire, suing a town for having a soccer program?
I've got the medicals to back it up. It's called second impact syndrome. There's also a Norwegian study documenting that soccer players have more attention problems. I think I've got enough to survive summary judgment. And if I do that, I really believe that I can settle.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm acting only as your friend here, not your lawyer.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because I can't let my firm incur any liability.
Okay, look, if you prefer I do this myself.
Not a chance. I'm not letting you be alone with this guy. Right on time.
Lovely day, isn't it?
Let's go. Have a seat, Mr. Smoltz. I have two things. A money order in the amount of $100,000.
This is good.
And here's a confession you must sign in order to get that money.
A confession?
I'm not stupid, Mr. Smoltz. Somebody shot Gerald Hanks in the back. You just happened to be there that night. I'll bet you just happened to be a former business partner of Gerald Hanks.
First, you're out of your mind. Second, you're totally out of your mind if you think I'm signing this.
Look, we got no guarantee you won't be back next week demanding another $100,000. We need to have something on you. You sign this confession, I keep it sealed in my office safe. You never bother us again, it stays there. If you do...
Suppose there's an office fire. Suppose somebody breaks into that safe. I'm not signing nothing.
Then you don't get the money.
You don't want to say that, Mr. Paludi.
Sign the confession, you get the money.
What about this? You give me the money, you two live.
Police, freeze! Down the ground! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the down on the ground! Down on the ground! All right, let's go. Down! Down! Don't move. Right, hands behind your back. Do it now!
Get him up. Yeah. Let's go. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney.
Okay, let him go. What's going on? What's going on is Mr. Berluti just saved your pretty face. We've agreed to give you immunity for your DUI and possible vehicular manslaughter in exchange for the shooter. What?
You better hope that gun matches, because if we can't get him, we'll be back.
$20,000, all in.
The offer was 10, Mr. Wright.
10 per cup. And we can all go home.
15, and I get to talk to your client.
Why?
Because I want to. 15, confidential, and I talk to her now.
Okay.
I don't think it's acceptable for you to speak to her alone outside
She won't be alone. Miss Stringer will be here.
Why can't I be there?
Because I find you to be an annoying distraction.
It's okay.
Henry? Surprisingly, my client had a lot of nice things to say about you, Paula. My suspicion is you weren't the least bit upset about this. Probably had a good laugh. Then you got the idea that this was a lottery ticket. Henry Winslow has been extremely good to you. He's a good person. You're 26 years old. The kind of person you will be has yet to be determined. But how you behaved here, it wasn't in keeping with being a good person. Now, you might skip out of here thinking, wow, I just made $15,000 and I wasn't even injured. But Paula, if this settlement in any way causes you to think that what you did here was acceptable, then you've been injured indeed. That's all.
Great. Thank you. Thanks. Ballistics match. It's officially over. You got immunity.
Good.
What's wrong?
Jimmy, I know you did the right thing. And I'm grateful for how things worked out, but going behind my back to the police.
I didn't want you knowing anything. I didn't want to be hanging this on your poker skills with that guy.
That's not my point.
What is your point?
You took a big risk with my life. What if ballistics didn't match? I could be going to jail right now.
Look, making deals with guys like Herrick Smoltz never turns out good. Once you go down that path...
Again, not the point. You went behind my back. It was dishonest.
Dishonest? I don't think I'm wearing the dishonesty badge here, Brenda. You lied to the police, which I think can be explained by panic. But as I said, this deal, it was criminal. It was fraud. And it put my character into play. And let me tell you something. If my character doesn't matter to you, then I don't matter to you.
Fine.
What? Fine? What?
Like I said, I know you did the right thing.
But?
But I could have gone to jail. I could have been shot by that guy. But as long as your conscience stayed protected, then hey.
I think I gotta go.
Okay.
You got a second?
Sure.
You told me you put me on that case to learn. And I asked what it was I was supposed to be learning. Well, I just wanted you to know I did learn. And, people bemoan the death of dignity in our profession. I just wish more of them could see you at work.
You did betray her, Jimmy. In your mind, it was for her own good, but... So, how did you leave it?
I just left. It's not gonna work for us.
It's too soon to say that. But even if this doesn't work, maybe it's for the best.
Bobby, I know this sounds stupid, but I loved her so much back in high school. Probably an unhealthy worship kind of thing. But it all just came back.
You're not who you were in high school.
I know this. Except I'm 42 years old. And I'm lonely. And men like me, we don't get women like her.
Jimmy, there are many, many women for you. And one day...
Yeah, I know.
Come on. Let's go get a beer.
I think I'm gonna sit for a minute.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit and... I'm fine.
You sure?
I'm fine.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. First thing.
That's my son there, Marshall.
He looks like a great kid.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. You know, he was 3 months old when I began my term. My wife remarried, and he was raised by, you know, he thinks of his stepdad as his father.
Oh.
No, hey, I mean, I owe the guy really. You know, he's been a pretty good dad.
Hey. They're willing to move for a finding of your legal innocence.
That's it. No money.
No.
15 years for a murder I didn't do, they offer nothing.
They don't feel they were negligent. Plus, the state doesn't like to admit mistakes. Goes to a fear of getting sued.
Why haven't they moved for a legal finding on their own long before now?
As I said, they don't like to formally acknowledge mistakes.
So if we continue on, can we win?
Honestly, I don't know. They'll claim, given all the evidence, your arrest was reasonable. After that, it was a jury that convicted you. We obviously can't sue them.
We won't win.
I don't think so.
Bobby, I know that you took this on a contingency. And 33% of nothing isn't much. But given that I did 15 years, I would like to at least give them 3 days of hell.
A summons?
I need you to testify.
Why?
Because you were the DA who prosecuted him, Ken. It was one of our first trials when our relationship was formed, remember?
You blaming me?
I'm certainly not blaming. I'm just exploring how an innocent man ended up serving 15 years.
Look, I've spent a lot of money in therapy, you piece of crap, and I'm trying now to be nice. I've held out an olive branch to your firm. If you intend to thrash me with
that isn't the case. I just want your take.
My take. You come after me, I'll fillet you, Bobby. Right in the courtroom for the jury to see.
I can see those therapy dollars at work.
Don't do this. That's a warning.
You have your summons. I'll see you in court.
Everything okay?
No. Will you argue?
What?
I'm over my head. I'm going up against John Wicker from Goodman. You believe that? They've got Wicker.
You said you were ready.
I am. But let's face it, Lindsay, I'm suing in town for having a soccer program. Add to that, I've been to court twice in my entire life. Add to that, they've got Wicker. Add to that...
Are you okay?
Lindsay, sometimes I sort of freeze.
What do you mean?
When I get nervous or... I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
The victim was a 70-year-old retired school teacher. Robbed, beaten to death with a wrench. I was lead detective on the case.
And Detective, what led you to conclude that Louis Nyler was the killer?
2 eyewitnesses gave a description matching his. One picked him out of a lineup. He had no alibi. His wrench was the murder weapon. And he confessed.
He initially maintained his innocence.
They all do.
But this one was innocent. At what point during your interrogation did my client confess?
Approximately 28 hours.
He was in that room for 28 straight hours.
Yes.
You basically wore him down.
The confession was voluntary.
Detective, a month after my client was convicted, another man confessed to the killing. Isn't that right? A man by the name of Mark Carter?
Unfortunately, we didn't think that confession was credible. I thought he was trying to make a deal on a different murder he'd been charged with.
And last year, 15 years later, You finally did a DNA analysis on the wrench, didn't you?
Yes?
And what did that analysis tell you?
That Mark Carter was indeed the killer. We apologize.
Can't you make a call and tell them I'm dead or something?
They've cracked down on jury duty now. It's not so easy to get out of.
Well, what about something medical?
Well, what have you got? Hemorrhoids?
Well, does that work? Because I can get one.
Hello, I'm looking for Lindsay Dole. Is she here by any chance?
No, she actually doesn't work here anymore. But her office is
Yes,
right.
I know. I work with her temporarily. My name's Claire Wyatt. More about that later. Do you know where she is?
No.
Have you tried her daycare?
Right. Thank you. Oh, Lindsay. They want to meet.
Who?
The defendant. The town of Lexington. They want to meet. They must have an offer.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
Why else would they want a conference to discuss spring fashions? They even agreed to come here. They must have an offer.
Okay. Well, if they want to discuss settlement, it's best not to appear over-anxious.
Right.
And I'm sure it goes without saying, try not to freeze or vomit.
Right. That was hurtful.
I have never knowingly prosecuted an innocent man.
But you knew about another man who confessed to being the killer, a man by the name of Mark Carter.
I heard that allegation soon after the trial, but I didn't believe it.
Did you interview Mr. Carter?
As I said, I didn't believe him to be telling the truth.
Did you interview him?
The prosecutor doesn't beat the bushes for new witnesses, counsel. I rely on the police for that. They said this Mr. Carter was a liar.
And that's what you told the parole board 6 years ago when you urged them to deny Louis Nyler's parole.
Yes. But once the Innocence Project did the DNA test, we did vacate his conviction, which I, of course, fully supported.
After he served 15 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Hey, I wish we had money to spot check every conviction to make sure this never happens again. We don't.
How about just interviewing the people who confessed to the crime?
Did you interview him?
I didn't know about him.
Why not? Did you follow up on the case, counsel, or did you just move on once your client got convicted?
Move to strike.
You're the defense attorney, and you're coming after me, the prosecutor, for not being zealous enough in securing your client's freedom. Am I the only one who thinks that's funny?
All right, Mr. Walsh.
Your Honor, just like to say, as the DA who prosecuted this man, I have a heavy heart. I don't deny it. But what about his heart?
Move to strike.
Where was he to request the DNA test? But for the Project Innocence, his client would still be locked up.
Move to strike.
All right, let's just move on.
What do you mean, no studies?
I can't find any. In fact, the Department of Justice doesn't even track the statistic of how many people are falsely convicted.
That's impossible.
Bobby, next to looks, I pride myself on my research.
Rebecca, can you help Jamie out, please?
Did you try the NIJ?
They documented some cases, but there was nothing to overall patterns.
Bobby, let's face it, this case is a dog. I realize that, Eugene, but the client wants to try it.
I forget who said it, but somebody here recently kind of screamed at us to make the client see reason.
Rebecca, I was the lawyer who lost this one. I had an innocent man go to prison on me. If he wants me to do cartwheels for him now, then that's what I'll do.
And how do you decide if he should be released?
There are a number of factors. Is he still a danger to the community? Has he bettered himself in prison? Has he been rehabilitated?
And you decided that Mr. Nyler was not a good candidate for release.
Frankly, he was a terrible candidate.
Why?
His attitude towards us was angry. He wouldn't take responsibility for his situation, and he didn't give us the confidence we needed to risk letting him back out on the street. The police and the prosecutors opposed release, as well as the victim's family. This was not a hard call.
My client was a model prisoner. No disciplinary problems, correct?
Yes.
The only reason you wouldn't grant him parole is because he refused to say he was the killer.
He showed a profound lack of remorse and wouldn't accept responsibility for what was a heinous crime.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, isn't it? He was innocent.
As it turned out, certainly we didn't know that.
But you had knowledge that another man confessed.
We had no knowledge that the confession was truthful, nor did we
And
have
you couldn't be bothered to find out.
Mr. Donald, the parole board does not exist to investigate. We assume guilt going in. We have to. Otherwise,
You denied my client parole because he told the truth. An innocent man served extra time in jail simply because he maintained his innocence.
In this case, as it worked out, yes. And that's regrettable.
Regrettable? Don't you think it's perverse? He served extra time for being truthful.
Mistakes were made in this case, but none of them were ours. We did our job as the law required.
As the law required. Miss Hodges, had you been armed with the DNA evidence that conclusively proved my client's innocence, would you have then granted him parole?
No.
No?
If your client was still in prison, refusing to accept responsibility, DNA evidence or not, we'd have no choice. We would have denied him parole.
I must say, I'm only here at the insistence of a charitable mayor. Against my better judgment, which is expensive, by the way, I'm putting $35,000 on the table. Conditioned, of course, on confidentiality.
35,000. He has learning disabilities.
Ms. Wyatt, I don't think you want the number to reflect the merits of your case, because we all know what that number is.
Well, if this is all about charity, why would the mayor want to keep it such a secret? Most politicians like photo ops with their acts of kindness.
The secrecy is at my insistence. What would happen if every child who ever headed a soccer ball came calling to collect a check?
I would think if the children had neurological deficits caused by town-sponsored programs, a town would consider compensating them.
The $35,000 is on the table today. It won't be should you lose at summary judgment. Now, I won't advise either of you how to practice law. You're both good attorneys. But I will say, come on, do the math. 35 is better than nothing. What are you thinking? Ms. Wyatt?
We'll take the offer to our client, then let you know.
I just hit her. First with my hand, then with the wrench. I don't know how many times, but I couldn't stop myself. Not till she was dead. I just couldn't stop myself.
That was you, Mr. Nyler. Saying that you did it.
I'd been in that room all night.
But were you tortured? Did any officer beat you, or...?
It was mental torture. They kept me awake. And they said that they wouldn't let me out till I confessed. Finally, I gave in.
Mr. Nyler, when you looked at that tape just now, can you make room for the possibility that a detective or a jury or a parole board might consider you guilty?
They didn't see what went on before that.
What did go on?
They just kept saying they knew I did it. After 20 hours or so, I was delirious. I was sleep deprived. I was mentally... At some point, I guess you'll say anything to get him to stop. And I did. But the next day, I told him it was a lie. I never did it. But they didn't want that statement. They wanted their conviction. They never looked for the truth. I lost my family, my son, 15 years of my life, because they never looked for the truth.
Have you ever seen a doctor for this?
Yes, and he said it's all anxiety. He suggested I do breathing exercises. It's not like I black out, it's just... I can't talk.
Look, you said you wanted to talk about something.
Yes, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I just... Lindsay has been giving me little pep talks to bolster my confidence, and, well, she told me your story.
My story?
Yes. How, a few years ago, your nickname was Jimmy the Grunt, and nobody took you seriously.
Lindsay shared that?
Yes. And, well, I guess I was looking for some insight, you know, on turning the corner.
Well, with me, I just made up my mind I wasn't gonna get knocked down. I was the first lawyer in my family, but I didn't have this freezing problem.
My father's a lawyer. I think it adds to the pressure. I remember the look on his face when I told him that I was going to law school. He didn't believe I was cut out for it. I think that it's partly why I freeze.
Claire, maybe you should really try to settle.
Nothing? Not a race disparity, even?
For sentencing, yes, but not for wrongful convictions. We're coming up empty.
There was one law review that figured 10,000 wrongful convictions a year, but there's no hard data on that.
Bobby, may I ask, what are you going for? If you're planning to argue false convictions are common, that goes against your negligence claim. If you argue they're not common, that hurts you on foreseeability. What's your case?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
The truth is, Walsh is right. If anybody's to blame here, it's probably me.
I pored through that trial transcript. You did nothing wrong.
I should have suppressed that confession.
You tried. It was voluntary.
And why didn't I push for DNA testing?
Bobby, 15 years ago, they weren't doing that.
But 10 years ago, they were. Reality is, I never went back because I believed my client was guilty. I bought into that confession just like everybody else.
Not a good thing to bring up in your closing.
$35,000.
It isn't much, but...
My son has learning disabilities, attention deficits.
The stumbling block is liability. The doctors can't establish that heading the soccer ball caused the injuries, and...
The doctors think it's that. And I know conclusively as his mother. He never had any of these problems before the headaches after the soccer games.
There's also assumption of the risk issues.
I never assumed any risk of neurological disability when I let him play soccer.
Neither of us is suggesting that $35,000 will make you or your son whole.
But you're telling me to take it.
Because we don't believe we'll prevail. I don't think we'll even survive summary judgment.
35 won't do it.
Mary.
35 won't do it.
When I tried this case 15 years ago, I was a young, idealistic lawyer who believed very much that our criminal justice system was the best in the world. We've heard it said so many times that we've almost come to believe it's perfect. Well, it certainly wasn't perfect for Louis Nyler. First, to defend him, he got a kid fresh out of law school. Sure, I'll say it. I could have, perhaps should have, done a much better job. But the truth is, criminal defendants rarely get the pick of the litter. and I was a novice looking to pick up experience and rent money. Imagine being on trial for murder and having an inexperienced, if not inferior, attorney. Happens all the time in our great criminal justice system. One would hope, given that the state would take care to ensure fairness. One would hope. Look what the state did here. First, the parole issue. Louis Nyler, an innocent man, served an extra 6 years in prison for refusing to say he was guilty. Let me say that again. An innocent man served additional time for not admitting guilt. The perversity of that speaks for itself. The even bigger question: how did an innocent man end up in prison to begin with? We certainly know what happens. The Central Park jogger case, Rampart, all the reversals from DNA, and the work of Project Innocence, we now know that people get falsely convicted a lot. I hope to present you with studies, but guess what? There aren't any. In fact, the United States Department of Justice doesn't even track statistics on how many people get falsely convicted every year. That's outrageous. Add to that, nobody is trying to remedy the problem. With all these overturned convictions and revelations of enormous error, not once has any court or jurisdiction gone back and tried to figure out how it happened.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but he's introducing evidence here.
I'm going to allow it.
In medicine, if a patient dies, immediately a morbidity and mortality commission is assembled to figure out how. If a building collapses, engineers and architects convene to ascertain the cause. But in criminal justice, with so many false convictions, we're doing nothing to either fix the problem or even probe the cause. Nothing.
All right, Mr. Donnell, I think I will ask you to confine yourself to this case.
This case is about governmental arrogance. An innocent man was thrown into an interrogation room and not let out until he signed a false confession 28 hours later. Despite the real killer confessing to the crime, Louis Nyler continued to serve 15 years in prison. The last 6 simply for insisting on his innocence. He lost his family. A big part of his life. And the state offers no compensation. Nor has it so much as thrown together a panel to ask how it happened. That's arrogance. My fix? We need a jury to motivate the state to re-examine its procedures, not just for Louis Nyler's sake, but for the next innocent man. And the next innocent man after that, and the one after that. We need a jury to motivate the state to make our criminal justice system every bit as good as it's cracked up to be. You know, 15 years later, I still consider myself an idealistic attorney. I guess in the spirit of that idealism, as well as in the spirit of simple fairness, I am hoping you're that jury.
Very inspiring. But let's look at the merits of the case instead of the politics. First, the parole issue. A parole board exists not to determine innocence or guilt, but to determine whether a prisoner is fit for release, i.e. rehabilitation. The board assumes guilt. Occasionally, that results in an innocent man being required to acknowledge guilt for a crime that he didn't commit, and that is unfortunate, but what's the alternative? No such requirement? We're going to start paroling prisoners who don't express remorse? You really want that? As for the bigger question, how did he end up in jail to begin with? A terrible, horrific result, no argument here, but whose fault, really? Louis Nyler's wrench was the murder weapon. 2 witnesses described him. One even pulled him out of a lineup, and he confessed. Oh, Mr. Donnell, he left that out of his stirring speech. Louis Nyler confessed. And there was nothing illegal about that confession. It was constitutional, voluntary, valid. So, who do we blame? The witnesses who made a mistake? Good luck. No witness will ever come forward again for fear of being sued. The police or the prosecutors for relying on those witnesses as well as the other evidence, including a murder weapon and a confession. The parole board for believing in a prisoner's guilt post-conviction. Now, if you are desperate to find blame here, you might start with Mr. Nyler. He lied. Maybe he was vulnerable after a lengthy interrogation, I'll give you that. But let's face it, we might not be here if Louis Nyler had not signed that confession saying that he committed the crime. And as for why the state hasn't done a better job asking questions, analyzing mistakes, Mr. Donnell certainly is idealistic. The reason that our criminal justice system is the best in the world is because it is so thoroughly adversarial. The check that we have against false convictions, the best check, the defense attorney. And I have to ask, if the IDs of those witnesses were impeachable, if that confession was suspect, if that DNA existed for 15 years, where, I ask, was his lawyer? Now, if Mr. Donnell, in all of his idealism, is suggesting that we do our jobs as well as his, well, there's burden, and then there's burden.
The thing about Lander, he's a fair judge, smart, but he's extremely active.
Okay.
His docket is also pretty congested, which means you can expect some intolerance.
Why?
You're suing a town for having a soccer program. Also, he has a bit of a reputation for beating up on the weak, and he doesn't much like women.
Great.
You need to stand your ground, Claire.
Right. Okay.
Would you like me to do this?
Why do you ask that?
Well, you seem uneasy. Claire, please don't be offended by what I'm about to say. Some lawyers, though very capable, extremely intelligent, aren't quite equipped to be trial attorneys. It takes a certain stomach. I'm not saying that you lack the stomach. I'm just saying that it's no great shame.
I feel quite strongly I'm equipped.
Okay. If you need any more help, just call me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you in there.
Okay.
No word? Not yet. They haven't been out too long, really.
You've been beating yourself up pretty good over this one.
I think it should be a law. For any crime where the defendant faces prison for 10 years or more, the attorney should be required to have at least 5 years of experience.
Problem is, most lawyers, once they get that much experience, tend to have paying clients. And the last thing they want are criminal cases. That's what makes our work so noble. Remember?
Bobby, you're never gonna believe who's here to see you. Could you get me off a jury?
Come on, Lucy.
If your therapist sent you here, I'm not...
That's not it.
Then what is it?
Look, Bobby, I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy getting the better of you. I do. But what I want to clear up, and you can dismiss this if
Just say it, Ken.
When those DNA results came back clearing your guy, it was devastating. Not because I lost a conviction, but because to think I played a part in someone doing time. No prosecutor sits well with it. And I bet, though it was news you were hoping to get, on some level, it was devastating for you too.
That it?
Oh, piss off then.
Imagine the floodgate of litigation. First, we're suing over soccer injuries. Tomorrow, football players will be lining up. After that, hockey, wrestling. Come on. Kids sometimes get hurt playing sports. It's a fact. It's common sense. It's also common sense that a town can't have parents suing them every time there's an accident. I would add to that, Your Honor, that the plaintiff signed a waiver, waiving any and all negligence lawsuits based upon injuries from soccer. In short, and accordingly, this action should be dismissed immediately as a matter of law. Also as a matter of simple practicality, because this is just plain silly.
Ms. Wyatt? Ms. Wyatt, do you have a response?
You okay?
Your Honor, Timothy Boyd is a young boy who chose to play soccer in a program that...
Town is full of young boys playing soccer, counsel. They break legs, bump heads, get concussions. It's a contact sport, for God's sake. That's why they sign waivers.
Yes, but we're not talking about a hazardous game where accidents can happen. We're alleging that the game itself is inherently unsafe. That even when played correctly, without mishap, it can still result in neurological injuries, as it did with Timothy Boyd.
Come on, counsel. I got precedent staring me right in the face here. You can't hold a city liable for injuries in a soccer game. Did you read these cases?
I read them, Your Honor, and I don't interpret them to bar the type of lawsuit that we're bringing.
You wouldn't. You'll agree soccer would be a hazardous recreational activity under the case law, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Ms. Wyatt?
I'm sorry.
Let me read some of the language for you, counsel. Soccer unquestionably is a hazardous activity within the meaning
But the
of...
hazard they're talking about relates to body contact.
So what?
Look, we all know when kids play football or basketball or hockey, bones get broken. We can't have parents running into court to sue every time something like that happens. I totally agree. But this case isn't that. Soccer calls for heading. It encourages, promotes, and demands the very activity that's doing the damage. That makes this case different from anything anticipated by the case law or the Massachusetts Claims Torts Act.
But even if you're right, counsel, you have assumption of the risk problems. Certainly your client knew that heading was part of the game.
But he didn't know it was dangerous. The defendant didn't even know.
How do you know what the defendant knew?
Well, I'm assuming had they known the risk, they would have mandated helmets.
Well, if they weren't aware of the risk, then how can they be negligent for failing to safeguard against it? Did you hear my question, counsel?
I heard it. The essence of our negligence claim is that the city failed to properly ascertain the degree of danger.
Along with every municipality in the country, then. For that matter, the world.
That may be true. But lawsuits, especially ones based on theories of negligence, are primarily about allocating burden. Who's better able to bear the burden of fixing the problem? That's the questions courts ask. Well, here, I ask you. Who's in a better position to detect whether soccer's an inherently unsafe sport? A municipality or an 8-year-old boy?
Fine. Then under your logic, if it were suddenly determined that running causes cancer, you could sue city field and track programs because the city is in a better position to make the discovery.
No, that's not the same.
Why not?
Because the idea that running causes cancer, that's wildly unforeseeable. The notion that kids heading soccer balls can cause brain damage is not. Especially since we all know that young brains are not fully matured. Especially since doctors have been saying it. Especially since there are studies documenting it. And since it's a question of fact, I would also...
All right, I've heard enough.
With all due respect, Your Honor, I'm not quite finished.
I said I've heard enough, counsel. Defendant's motion to dismiss is denied. Trial date will be set the first week in March. Adjourn.
He really said that, right? We won the motion?
How many times are you gonna ask me?
Well, I just keep thinking it's a mistake or some practical joke. I actually beat John Wicker in a summary judgment hearing. Thank you, Lindsay.
Hey, you did it. I just sat there.
But your being there by my side gave me some credibility, I know. Hopefully now I'll be able to settle.
Listen, I know I said you could stay here a full 3 weeks, but I'd like to go back on my word a little and offer you a full-time job.
What?
I'd also like to retract my doubt over you being a trial lawyer.
You're offering me a job?
You're equipped, Claire. You belong in that room.
Mr. Foreman, has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
In the matter of Lewis Nyler versus the Commonwealth of Massachusetts et al., how find you?
As to the claim of wrongful imprisonment, we, the jury, find for the plaintiff, Lewis Nyler. As to compensatory damages, we order the defendants to pay Lewis Nyler $400,000. As to punitive damages based on intentional or reckless false imprisonment, we ordered the defendants to pay Lewis Nyler nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court thanks you for your service. You are dismissed. We are adjourned.
Congratulations. It didn't exactly send a message, but...
It was something.
Yeah. Listen, Lewis, it needs to be said.
No, it doesn't, Bobby.
May I ask, why'd you even want me for this trial? It's not as if Project Innocence got you out. I was the one. Why?
I knew you'd be motivated. I'm sorry, Louis. I wish I could give you back those years.
Yeah. Thank you, Bobby.
I'll just be a couple minutes. Thank you.
No problem.
Next on the practice.
And you're telling me I could actually go away for life? Simply because I happen to look like somebody?
Like somebody who stabbed 3 women.
Get him to flash his rage. Push him.
Why?
Because you're the prototype of the women he kills.
You speak as a defeatist.
I speak as a realist. The public wants to lynch somebody. Right now, your son is the only offering.
You stinker!
Previously on the practice.
You understand I confessed?
I do, but you only confessed after they discovered the body in the trunk. If we can suppress the search, the confession goes out too.
I just don't want to go to a prison. Anything to keep me out of prison.
I understand. You answer only what I ask you, nothing more, because...
I strangled her.
I know you're ill, and I know you want to get better.
Her name was Carol. She was very nice to me.
You didn't know there was a body in the trunk, did you?
Not before you opened it, no.
The search and confession are hereby suppressed, the charges are dismissed, and the defendant, I'm horrified to say, is free to go.
I can just walk out?
Yes, but you still want to get some help.
There's no need to now, right? Thank you, Lindsay.
It's not a conspiracy.
I simply can't understand how 2 different people could pick him out of a lineup without some police collusion.
It just means he looks like whoever this killer is.
They've offered murder too.
You're certainly not suggesting that we consider that.
We know you're innocent, but...
But what?
There's a kind of a swell here. I don't need to tell you that.
The media doesn't get a vote.
Please, don't kid yourself, Mrs. Bakey. The influence of the media seeps into that jury room. They weren't sequestered. A lot of them will be watching the news despite the judge's instructions.
The witnesses are credible, persuasive demeanors, and...
What about me? You don't find me persuasive?
You're his mother.
I am also truthful.
Look, I cooperated fully. I gave them DNA samples, I let them search my house, my car. I'd never broken any law. Are you actually telling me that I could go away for life Simply because I happen to look like somebody.
Like somebody who stabbed 3 women.
Russell Bakey, better known as the alleged supermarket killer, finally goes on trial today for the murders of 3 South End women. Rumors of a last-minute plea agreement have turned out to be false. Both
Is he
sides
guilty?
failed to reach an agreement.
Eugene doesn't
now
think
rests
so.
in the hands of the jury.
Lindsay,
Mr. Deeks?
I have a situation. Who is this person?
She's a lawyer I work with. Claire Wyatt, Stanley Deeks. What's wrong?
I need to speak in private.
Actually, lawyer-client privilege extends to her, Stanley. You can speak freely. What's the situation?
I had a relapse.
A relapse?
I made a friend. She was only 14, but we had a lot in common, and I befriended her.
You befriended her?
Yes.
Where is your friend now, Stanley?
She's away.
Away? Where away?
I need to get help, Lindsay. I thought I was better, but I'm not.
Stanley, did you kill this girl?
I was loading my groceries into the car when I saw them.
By them, you mean?
The defendant and the woman in the poster on the left, Heidi Stevens.
What were they doing?
At first, I thought they were together. But then I gathered he was offering to help jumpstart her car. The battery was dead or something. It was a bitter cold night.
Did she accept his offer?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not he was able to help start her car?
No. They were still working on it when I left, so I don't know.
Are you positive that this is the man you saw that night with Heidi Stevens?
Very positive. They were only about 20 feet away from me.
Were you able to describe for the police what this man was wearing that night?
Not enough to give a specific description.
Was he wearing a hat?
Yes?
Can you describe that?
It was a knit hat.
Pull down a little over his forehead.
It didn't cover his face.
You mentioned it being cold. Do you remember how cold?
I believe it was in the teens.
And yet, you kind of took time out from loading your groceries on this cold night to check out this man's face. How long do you think you looked at him?
I really don't know. Long enough for it to make an impression.
More than 5 seconds?
Probably not.
And this was at night?
The parking lot was well lit.
You saw him for less than 5 seconds at night?
And picked him out of a lineup.
Before or after you saw his face on the news?
After.
Is it possible, Mrs. Hepler, that when you went to view this police lineup, you recognized my client because you'd just seen his face on the news?
I recognized him from both the news and the parking lot.
That's the address. Nobody lives there. That's why we go there, because the house was empty. We never had sex or anything. I'm not sick that way.
How? What happened?
I squeezed too tightly around her neck. I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Pretty sure? You're not positive?
Well, It's been 2 days and she hasn't gone home. At least that's what they're saying in the news. You think maybe they're trying to trick me? I'd turn myself in, but I don't want to go to prison. I want to get better. And I'm afraid for me to get better, I'm gonna have to tell the doctors what I did, and if I do, they'll tell the police. I don't know what to do.
This is the security video taken from inside the market.
This was taken the night Wendy Banks was killed.
Yes. That's her at the checkout counter. And if we fast forward to here, that's the defendant paying for his groceries.
Detective, after arresting the defendant, did you have opportunity to search his car?
Yes, we did.
Could you tell us what you found?
Jumper cables, toolkit. His jack was out like it had recently been used. And some box cutters we think were used to slash tires.
What, if anything, did you conclude?
That these were the instruments he used to disable cars and also repair them. We think that was his MO for approaching women, disabling their cars and then coming to their rescue.
Any video that shows my client had contact with Wendy Banks in the store?
No.
And this was a different grocery store from where the other 2 victims were last seen, right, Detective?
That's correct. All 3 victims were last seen at different grocery stores.
And the box cutters you said you think had been used to slash tires. Could you positively connect them to Susan Graham's tire?
No.
You also searched my client's house, correct, Detective?
Yes.
Were you able to find any physical evidence connecting my client with these murders?
No.
I actually think that the most damning piece of evidence is the video.
Why?
Well, it's one thing to argue a look-alike, but on top of that, we know for a fact that he just so happened to shop in the same grocery store at the same time of the last victim on the night she disappeared.
But I live near the store.
Understood, but those are 2 very big coincidences, Russell.
Not to be critical, but I'm a little disappointed in your performance so far.
Mrs. Bakey.
Here we have an innocent man. No scientific, no forensic evidence whatsoever against him, and yet you speak as a defeatist.
I speak as a realist. The public wants to lynch somebody. Right now, your son is the only offering. May I continue, please?
Certainly.
Thank you. Russell, you'll go first. We'll follow that up with your mother, who we know will make every effort to come off sympathetic. Are you ready?
He's ready.
Helen Gamble will come hard. Be prepared, Russell. She'll come straight for you.
With what? I've got nothing really to cross him with.
Yes, you do. Good-looking guy, nice job, makes a lot of money, lives with his mother. Come on.
It doesn't make him a murderer.
It makes him weird. He's probably a closet homo or something.
Okay, let's go with that. If he's secretly gay, then he's sure to kill.
Helen, we both know this is the killer. Get him to flash his rage. Push him. If he doesn't emote, we'll paint him as cold. If he does flare, we'll argue that he's a man of rage. Also, get as close to him as you can.
Why?
Because you're the prototype of the women he kills. I want the jury to picture the victims when you question him.
I don't know.
Look, I agree. Our case is thin, which makes this cross pivotal. You need to push him.
Go there. To the house?
What if she's not dead?
She has to be dead.
He said he wasn't sure, Claire. He said he thinks she's dead. What if for some reason she isn't? What if she's lying there with a broken neck, paralyzed or something?
Lindsay, I'm not sure I could go there.
I can't not go with the slightest possibility.
Can't you send someone, like a private detective?
I'm not sure it wouldn't violate privilege. Look, Look, it's only 20 minutes from here.
I would think on something like this, we should be allowed to tell the police.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Lindsay, do you want me to go with you?
Yes.
That was me on the video. I was in the supermarket that night.
Did you meet Wendy Banks?
I did not. Nor did I ever meet Heidi Stevens or Susan Graham.
2 witnesses said they saw you helping those women with their cars.
Those witnesses are mistaken.
Okay. Can you tell us where you were on the nights of these murders?
On the evening of October the 20th, I was working late in my office.
What do you do, sir?
I'm a security consultant. I basically help to detect and prevent computer fraud.
Thank you. And the nights of the other murders?
I was home.
Both nights?
Yes. The January 3rd night, I was obviously doing some grocery shopping in the evening. But I was home the rest of the night.
Do you live alone?
No, I live with my mother.
Was she home on those nights?
Yes, she was.
And she can confirm that you were home?
Yes, she can.
Mr. Bakey, have you ever been arrested before?
No, I have not. I am, and I have always been, a law-abiding person. I have never committed any crime. I'd never received so much as a speeding ticket. I certainly did not take the lives of 3 women.
Not even a speeding ticket.
No.
Well, Mr. Bakey, you just sound too good to be true. I would think a woman would be lucky to snag you.
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you go to church?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You even joined the choir, didn't you?
I tried out for the choir.
Well, according to my sources, you didn't sing too well. There was some suspicion that you might have tried out in order to meet women. Is that true?
I can't speak to the truth of the suspicion, but that's not why I tried out for the choir.
Ever been in therapy, Mr. Bakey?
Objection.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I'm trying to explore the psyche of a grown man who still lives at home with his mother.
Objection.
If you want to know why he lives with his mother, ask him. But he hasn't opened any door on character evidence.
Mr. Bakey, you are a bit modest in describing your job. In fact, you're a bit of a whiz. Many companies hire you to detect computer fraud, don't they?
I've done well.
You make over $200,000 a year. A talented, good-looking man who still lives with his mother. Seems odd.
Objection.
Withdrawn. Mr. Bakey, is your mother physically or financially dependent on you?
No.
Have you ever not lived with your mother?
No. I am not ashamed of loving my mother, Miss Gamble. I enjoy living with her. We're very compatible.
Ever had sex with her?
Objection.
Trying to explore the depth of this love and compatibility.
The objection is sustained.
Ever had any girlfriends, Mr. Bakey?
I date.
I don't mean a date or a movie or helping a girl change a tire.
Objection.
Miss Gamble.
I mean a relationship. Have you ever had a long-term relationship with a woman? If so, could I have her name?
Your Honor.
Overruled. He can answer that one.
Any girlfriends, Mr. Bakey?
I've been extremely career-oriented.
Lots of nights at home with Mom?
Objection.
Miss Gamble, knock it off.
Do you have a problem getting along with women, Mr. Bakey?
No, I do not.
You kill women, don't you, Mr. Bakey?
No, I do not.
2 of the victims were last seen with you.
No, they were not. Your witnesses were mistaken.
My witnesses were mistaken. Well, too bad for you. I guess that you don't have any witnesses other than loving Mom. You have difficulties with intimacy, don't you, Mr. Bakey? It causes you to kill women.
Objection.
Sustained.
Is it some sexual dysfunction that causes you to snap? I asked you a question, Mr. Bakey. Do you have some sexual dysfunction that caused you to snap and stab those 3 women?
I never met those women. I never took their lives. The witnesses are mistaken, as are you, Miss Gamble.
so not why I went to law school.
He said upstairs.
I can't believe we can't hire somebody to do this.
Because there's something called privilege, Claire.
Yeah, well, privilege doesn't require us to go look at dead bodies.
Just wait here.
Right, like I'm gonna wait anywhere alone. Oh my God.
Okay. She's dead. Let's go.
Why are you here?
Oh my God, Stanley.
Why are you here?
Because we had to confirm that she was dead.
Why?
Because if she wasn't, it would be in your best interest to save her.
You were gonna tell on me.
No, we weren't. But we needed to be sure that she wasn't suffering.
I don't think she suffered that much. Look at her. She was so beautiful. What kind of person would kill an innocent child like that?
Stanley, I know you didn't want to hurt her. And I know you desperately don't want to hurt anybody else. Given that, maybe we should go to the police.
No. I can't go to prison. I'll go to a hospital, but not a prison.
You said that before. Now look.
Because I didn't go to a hospital. I'll go to a doctor, Lindsay. I want to. But not prison. Not prison.
Your mother goes up next. Then we rest.
Okay.
Are you all right?
Do you think I'm aberrant for living with my mother?
Well, it's not typical for a 30-year-old man. If you don't mind my asking, why do you still live at home?
I'm hugely busy at work. It's not like I have a family or a need for my own place yet.
What about a need for your independence?
I suppose I still feel safe at home. My parents were divorced when I was young. My mother, she fought all my battles. She may have undermined my self-esteem in the process. But I guess I've always felt, I don't know, safe.
I'm gonna throw something out. It's kind of wild, but...
What?
Well, you describe your mother as pretty controlling. Is it possible your mother saw you with these women and she killed them? Because, I don't know, she felt threatened or...
Jimmy, I never met these women. I was never with them.
Okay.
And even if I was with them, my mother, she is not capable of committing murder. Trust me.
Like I said, it was a wild idea.
Is she gonna go after her?
Sorry?
The DA, is she planning to attack my mother?
Probably.
We're not looking for punishment. We just want our daughter back. We're appealing to your compassion and to your humanity. Please. Please just bring her back.
Can you imagine?
No.
How long's she been gone? Did they say?
I didn't hear.
This is when I go back to believing in a death penalty. Somebody snatches a child.
Yeah.
Come on, don't stop on me now. We just had you serviced. Come on. Damn it.
Those who falsely accuse others deserve punishment themselves. And those who would vilify a person's mother, don't attack the mother, dear Helen.
My God.
Did you send it?
Me? I'm in jail.
Well, you made a few calls last night. A computer expert could use the phone lines to send a message.
That's ridiculous, Eugene. I'd have to know her address.
Well, you might have plucked it off some of our Discovery correspondence. Look, this is a thinly veiled threat on a DA's life, Russell. That alone could get...
I didn't send it.
Did Mom?
Look, I don't know what's going on. Maybe the real killer's playing head games, but I didn't send that. And my mother wouldn't even know how to boot up a computer, much less hack into somebody else's.
It does seem suspicious, Russell. Last night you asked me if Helen Gamble planned to attack your mother on the stand. You used that very word, attack. A few hours later, she gets a message using the word?
I promise you, I had nothing to do with this. You want me to take a polygraph? Wheel a machine in. I have nothing to do with this.
Tell them.
Only that she's dead.
I'll go to prison.
Stanley, listen to me. I will not say who killed her. I will not even reveal where she is. But these parents are suffering. They should at least be notified that their daughter is gone. The agony of not knowing. Stanley, you have a sickness. The reason you struggle with it so is because I think you are a man with compassion. It is inhumane to let these parents go day after day after day not knowing.
We will in no way implicate you. We won't help them find her or lead them to any evidence.
Let us spare these people some pain, Stanley. Please.
You can tell the parents, not the police.
Well, they'll just go to the police anyway, Stanley. It doesn't...
You can tell the parents, not the police.
I can vouch for him physically for 2 of the murders. On the 3rd, I'll simply vouch for his character.
Let's begin with the night of December 19th.
He was not only home, he was sitting right by my side from 8 p.m. through the 11 o'clock news.
You're sure?
Positive. We were watching It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Christmas tradition Russell and I have. We've been watching it together every year going back to his childhood. If you check your local listings, you'll see that it aired December 19th.
Well, did he ever leave the house?
Never. He used the little boy's room during a commercial break or 2, but other than that, he was right by my side.
What about the evening of January 3rd?
Again, he was home. I sent him to the market to pick up a few items, hence you saw him on the video. But he was home shortly after 7.
Mrs. Bakey, I would assume you love your son very much.
I've been divorced over 23 years. And my son is without question my dearest and closest loved one.
Which begs the question, would you lie to spare your son a lifetime of prison?
If faced with that, I suppose I would, Mr. Young. But I'm not faced with that today. My son was with me. He was home. The fact is, my son is innocent of the crimes he is being charged with.
Thank you.
Your son is the dearest and closest loved one in your life. Is that the reason you got divorced 23 years ago?
The reason was my husband and I were ill-suited for marriage.
Well, in the divorce complaint, your husband alleged that you sexually molested your 7-year-old son, Russell.
He alleged that as leverage to gain custody. The charge was baseless and never considered seriously by anybody.
Did you used to sleep with your 7-year-old son?
He'd get scared at night. I'd let him in the bed.
You slept in the nude?
I never molested my son.
It certainly would explain a few things. If mother and son become lovers, it contributes...
Objection, there's no basis for that.
There's no basis yet because I haven't been able to ask the question.
You need basis for the question itself, and there is none.
I agree. The objection is sustained.
Okay, then. We'll just leave it at... You love your son so dearly, and by your own testimony, you would lie to spare him a life in prison.
We're looking for Lindsay Dole.
That's me. Mr. and Mrs. Burns?
What information do you have?
Please sit.
Please, just tell us.
I think we need to sit. I'm afraid my information, it isn't good. Your daughter is dead. A client of mine has admitted to me that he took Cindy's life. Privilege prevents me from telling you anything more. But to spare you further agony of not knowing, I am so sorry. Is there any chance that this client was lying to you? No. He told me where her body was, and I went there, and it was her. And she had passed away.
Where is she?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
How was she killed?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that either. It's privileged.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
In an absolutely stunning development, the parents of Cindy Burns were told by the killer's lawyer that Cindy has in fact...
Please don't look at me, Stanley.
Why isn't Lindsay...
Please don't look at me. Lindsay is under a microscope right now. There's a chance the police could watch her every move, which is why you are not to come to our office.
Does this...
Please don't talk to me. On the off chance that I'm being watched, don't look at me. Lindsay and I got subpoenaed this morning. The police are going to try to force us to talk, but you need not worry. We won't. The main thing for you to remember is do not call us. Do not come to see us. We will contact you. Write that down if you need to, Stanley, but don't forget it. Wait for us to contact you.
I'm not saying we can't win, but I'm nervous. If we could get manslaughter...
No. You came off like a strange man. Add to that, 2 of the victims were last seen with you. And the third... I agree with Eugene. It's a big risk. Neither of us has a good feeling here.
They're offering manslaughter.
They haven't offered anything yet.
I need to speak to Miss Gamble, personally.
Why?
I just do. I need to speak to her before I would even consider a plea.
I don't know who put the notion of plea into your head, but if you think I'd offer manslaughter...
What can we get?
Murder, too.
Oh, come on, Helen. This could be a straight not guilty. You've got no forensics evidence.
Eugene, I can live with an acquittal. But the politics of letting a man we consider to be a serial killer get off on manslaughter...
I would think the important thing would be to get him off the street.
If you brought me in here to discuss manslaughter, talk time's over.
They brought you in because I wanted to talk to you, Miss Campbell. I want you to know, I don't blame you. If you truly believe I'm guilty, I would expect you to be zealous against me. I have no hard feelings.
I don't care.
One other thing. I majored in psychology at Northeastern. I took many courses in criminal psychology. I wish you had taken a few, because if you had, you'd know I'm innocent.
I majored in English Lit. Bummer.
I read and reread that message you received. My interpretation is that whoever sent it doesn't want me convicted. He's angry with you. Perhaps the real killer doesn't like the attention and credit going to me. In any event, I firmly believe that if you continue to prosecute me zealously, you will be killed.
Are you threatening me, Mr. Bakey?
Me? No. I'm only saying that whoever sent this, in my opinion, intends very much to kill you if you don't back off.
Russell.
I think she should know this. There's no shame in losing. Everybody knows the state's case is thin. But winning, that could be deadly.
Helen, would you excuse us, please? Are you out of your mind?
To me, the message seemed dangerous, that's all I was saying. From my experience, women never seem to recognize danger.
What's that supposed to mean?
Prepare your closing, Eugene.
Privilege is absolute, Your Honor. Miss Dole and Miss Wyatt learned what they learned through a confidential communication.
It doesn't matter. By going there, they became witnesses themselves.
To what?
Who knows what? Possible time of death, the position of the body. The point is, privilege doesn't protect them here. Once they go to a scene, they lose any opportunity.
There is no basis in law for that contention. What's more, my clients didn't disturb the scene.
Why did they go there at all?
To affirm that Cindy Burns was in fact dead. If she were still alive, they could perhaps help save her. And I would submit, Your Honor, to hold that a lawyer blows privilege by going to a scene, that could have potentially devastating effects. No lawyers would ever go to scenes, and sometimes that would mean lives would be lost.
All right, look. I won't make them reveal the identity of their client, but I am ordering them to tell us where the body is.
Your Honor, I won't do that.
Then I'll hold you in contempt, Miss Dole.
If I tell you where the body is, that could lead to discovery of the evidence, which could lead you to my client.
Miss Dole, I am giving you a court order. Please don't think I'm kidding.
Lindsay, he's letting you off the hook here. He's ordering you.
I'm not looking to get off a hook. This is privileged information, and I won't reveal it.
Security, take Miss Dole into custody. Ms. Wyatt, I am now ordering you to tell us where the body is.
How long will they keep us?
Until we tell. Or until it becomes clear we won't.
No murder weapon. No fingerprints, no DNA, no blood stains, no forensics evidence whatsoever. They searched my client's house, his car, every stitch of his clothing. They couldn't find so much as a fiber. All they have are two witnesses who said they saw a man who looks a lot like Russell Bakey. That, and a videotape which puts Russell Bakey in the same supermarket as the third victim. Now, that hardly overcomes all reasonable doubt, especially since my client has an alibi. For two of the murders, Russell Bakey has an alibi that puts him in his home for the night. Yes, it's his mother, and yes, she might have a motive to protect him. He's her son. But her testimony stands uncontradicted, uncontroverted. His alibi has not been refuted.
She's his mother. She loves him dearly. We heard that, didn't we? They even live together, don't they? They have a very special relationship, this mother and son. 3 women are dead. All 3 have one thing in common: Russell Bakey. 2 of them were last seen with him, the third in the same supermarket with him. How many more coincidences have to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Jumper cables found in his trunk. These are tools to help repair cars. Now, I suppose that's a big coincidence, too. This man has serious problems with women, so he kills them. Slashes a tire, disconnects a battery, becomes a good Samaritan, and then kills. Loving mom, waiting at home with an alibi. We caught him. We arrested him. We brought him to trial. Now we give him to you. Let's not pick up a newspaper one day and read about yet another coincidence.
I don't know, Bobby. The judge just seems determined to hold them.
Great, let's start working on an appeal. The law has to be with us here.
They have a verdict. On TV? They let cameras in.
Mr. Foreman, has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
What say you?
In the matter of the Commonwealth versus Russell Bakey, on the count of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Russell Bakey, not guilty.
Unbelievable.
On count 2, murder in the first degree, we find the defendant not guilty. On count 3, murder in the first degree, we find the defendant not guilty.
Thank God.
Members of the jury, this concludes your service. You are dismissed with the thanks of the court. The defendant is free to go.
Thank you.
Let me bring you home, sweetheart. Your room is just as it was. I'm gonna cook you a home-cooked meal.
Okay, Mom. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you, Eugene. Excuse me. Miss Campbell? I promise you, justice has been done.
Uh-huh.
Also, one might think this verdict takes you out of danger. Let's hope.
You will not threaten her. You will not go near her.
Thanks again for the good work, Eugene.